Well, it's morning again, sun's shining. So, let's see how far we can get. I shouldn't actually be pointing the camera at the untidy garage because it triggered somebody the other day. Oh my god, what a world we live in. So there are a couple of other things I want to actually attach to this morning before I start spinning it over. Front crank pulley, and I think I'll put this lower tin on here as well because I'm not sure if you can get that on with the lower crank. I keep calling it the lower crank pulley, the crank pulley. And that lower tin, I'm not sure if you can get it on with the crank pulley in place. And obviously when it starts building pressure and flinging oil around inside, I don't want it coming out of this end seal, so yeah, I think I'll do that first. Then yeah, we'll get the oil in the transmission, and then we'll figure it out from there. I think I'll get that battery on charge. This isn't a good battery at all. It's just an old one that I've got. It actually came from my buddy Andy, and it's just the one that we use. It'll hold some charge. I think one of the cells has gone in it, so it's not really good enough to put on a vehicle. But for anything like this, it'll work. So I am going to get that on charge though, just to make sure it's nicely juiced up. And while I'm doing this, okay, so a little bit of oil in there, not a lot. I'll put some more in a minute, but yeah, I'm just going to soak down this flange here before I actually put them into place. But pop this on. Yeah, I thought you couldn't. Once this is on, you're not going to get access to those two screws there. So yeah, I think it was a smart move putting this on first. Okay, I haven't got the bracket on there yet. I've just popped the distributor into place just for the time being. Fuel pump I do have clamped down. Obviously oil filler is clamped down. So I think all I've got to do now is let's get some leads sorted out, and we will yeah, we'll figure it out from there. Starter motor is on, by the way. Oil cooler is also on. Gaskets and everything are all on these. I don't think I'll have to take these back off, so but yeah. I do need to figure out where it's timed from. Obviously I can see the timing marks there, but I'm not entirely sure what you line them up with. I'll have to have a look at the manual. Yeah, the distributor's just stabbed in there. It's not timed or anything. Like I say, it's got to come back out, put the bracket on. But yeah. Just on a little side note, it's really quite warm today. I mean, it's not like sort of in the 70s or anything, but it's already, I think it's about 58, 59. Yeah, I don't think in metric. So, but the cedar on the seats and those bits laying there, and opened the van up. Oh my god, such a nice smell. Yeah, I know, tangents, but let's get back to these cables. Okay, we are all hooked up there, so let's see what we've got. Hell yeah, we're getting rotation. So, next thing, let's get an oil pressure light bulb hooked up to that switch, and let's just see if we can build some pressure just on the starter. Okay, I do not know if this pressure idiot light switch is working. I don't think it is, because I've got a bulb in there. The bulb actually does work, and but when I connect it up, I'm not getting any. Why will this not cooperate now? It was sitting there nicely for me before. Thank you. So I should These switches, the basic operation of these switches is quite simple. You have a light bulb, it's basic circuit. Bulbs connected usually to the ignition switch, and then the negative, the ground, that goes to the actual switch on the block. And when there's no oil pressure, the switch is closed, and the light illuminates. When there's oil pressure, the switch opens, and the light goes out. But I'm not getting anything out of it, so I have to assume the switch itself is faulty. Add that to the list. I wouldn't care. They're not expensive, and see, something that happens with a lot of these places, if you spend more than about £75, then you get free shipping. But when you get down to small stuff, it's like it's such as the switch. The switch, I think, is about £11, but it's £6 to have it shipped. And it kind of grinds my gears to spend £6 on shipping something. So what I try to do when I'm ordering stuff is I try to get my basket built up until I'm at 75. Problem is, some of the stuff that I really need, they still do not have in stock. So I'm just going to plug on. I do have to go out and get some gas for this. Because hopefully I would like to try and get it fired today, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Either way, I want to get it assembled, but I still need to go out and get some gas. So I think I might just do that now, and then we'll get the rest of this sorted when I come back. Start getting the tins and everything on. So I'm back, now penniless because I've bought a gallon of petrol. Oh God, it's getting... yeah, it's traumatic buying friggin' fuel these days. Anyway, yeah, I've got some. Yeah, at this point, I may as well just start assembling this. And, yeah, get all the tins and everything put on, and then we'll try and fire it up, see what happens. Okay, I'm moving along there. Obviously, this is taking longer than it did originally because... I'm actually bolting these down, putting all the nuts and bolts on, where before I was just had them placed just with the odd one here and there, just to get an idea of how it goes together. But yeah, so obviously, see, like, so these, I haven't got those tightened down just yet because I want to get everything on and then to nip it all up at the end. So same with the plates underneath, they're in place, but I believe that they actually screw to these heat exchangers. So again, I'm not doing that until I've got all the pipes and everything on and lined up. But yeah, it's coming along okay. I've got a gallon of gas somewhere. I think it's behind me. Yeah, it's going slowly, but it's okay. One issue I have run into, never checked them, should have done, but the plugs that I'd ordered, wrong plugs. So yeah, I won't be starting this today. I will have to run into town in the morning and grab a set of plugs. So that's a bit of a blow, but you know, it is what it is. It's my own fault. I should have checked this before I got to this stage, but I didn't. So I'll tell you what they look like. They look like, oh God, I'd have to check them again. But yeah, the old overhead cam Fords, you know, they had that like squatty style plug, where these ones are more like the, what did they used to call them, N9Y or something? They were in everything, minis, Cortinas, a lot of overhead valve Fords had them, minis. They were just used everywhere, so that's the style plug that it needs, and that's what I don't have. But I'll continue with the assembly, then tomorrow all I've got to do is stick the plugs in and listen to it run. Hear the confidence? There's the exhaust system on now. Heat exchangers on this side are all bolted up. This side is still loose because if I recall, when this intake tube goes on, there was a little bit of manoeuvring to get it onto these. I'm assuming there's some sort of heat exchanger to get warmth into the carburetor if it's really cold. Yeah, it's frustrating with the plugs, but you know, these things do happen. But yeah, it doesn't stop me from getting the rest of this all put together, and I'll just roll it into the garage for tonight, and then we will. I think the local Napa opens at about 7, so yeah, I can be there first thing, and we'll have some plugs in it. Almost forgot. Almost got to putting this together, and I need a hole drilled in here, tapped, and a fitting put in because for the vacuum feed for the brake servo. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I don't. This isn't original. There's no vacuum feed for the brake servo, so yeah, drilling and tapping this before I put it together. There we have it. So this will work very well, I do believe. So I do have a little rubber seal to go in there, but I'll just put that in when I actually come to putting the engine, connecting the servo and everything up, because I do need to run a complete new pipe for the servo. So that's why I'm not messing about with it too much. All I'll do at the moment is I'll just put something over here just to block it off, and then that way we can still start it up and we're not dealing with a massive vacuum leak. But let me just blow this out with the compressor, and that's it. We're done. We can start assembly. Well, we are nicely bolted up there, but there is one problem that I hadn't anticipated, but I found it anyway. Just there, that bolt. That is for the front engine mounting, and as it sits right now with the exhaust system and everything bolted up and tightened down, I cannot take that bolt out. So I'm going to have to loosen the system back off again, and basically I'm not doing it tonight because it'll be difficult to get it into the garage, but yeah, I do need to loosen that back off so that I can put that front mount on, and yeah, but we'll do that tomorrow. Well, yeah, I'm going to call it a night there. I've just took those 2 clamps down on there for the moment, so don't worry, they're not meant to go there. It's just so I don't lose them. The only thing I'm having a bit of issue with is this clamp here. I cannot get him to tighten up. He's the same size as the one on that side, and for whatever reason, even though these 2 rubber couplers were purchased at the same time from the same place, this one is slightly thicker. So I'm having trouble getting that clamp to clamp on, but I'll leave it till tomorrow. I've got a couple of more kicking about somewhere, so I can figure that. It is getting dark, although obviously camera never shows it. But yeah, by the time I get this lot tidied up, it will be dark. So it's been a good day. It's been a very good day. Bar having to loosen the exhaust back off again to get that on, and this warning light switch for the idiot light, the low oil pressure. That's the only 2 things, and there's a part of my brain saying, why not just put an oil pressure gauge in? I have been actually looking at you can buy these gauges now on eBay and different places like that. It's an oil pressure gauge and an oil temperature gauge, so that is a definite consideration. That would definitely be like an upgrade for these, so you can monitor oil pressure and monitor engine temperature as well. So, but that's a decision for another day. Today, I want to clean up and go in, have something to eat. Well, plugs, rolling engine out, battery. It's gonna be a good day. So, at the moment, I've got the plugs to the factory 0.25. what I may do once the van is actually drivable and on the road, I might come back and re-examine these, because I am using an electronic distributor and I will be using a high energy coil. So sometimes you can benefit from moving to a slightly bigger gap. The other thing that I might be doing as well is playing around with the timing, etc. Because the other thing as well, this will be running on 95 octane fuel as well. So yeah, we'll get all of that dialed in once the van is actually up and running. But for now, stock 0.25 gap. I'm running everything, timing and everything, basically as it comes out of the factory. So yeah, let's get these put in and we'll get the rest of the engine put together. Once this jet goes by, plugs are in, got the alternator bolted on. I am still going to have this refurbished, but I just want it on there for the moment for the first startup. See if we actually get any power out of it at all. That's a complete unknown. I need to figure these out because I don't want these closing when the engine until I get a thermostat. So I need to figure out how these actually. Yeah, actually, what I should have done was probably done these before I put this on. Yeah, let me whip this back off again. It's only 4 bolts, and I'll figure out how these vents all work. Because I think they just close like that. I think there's a bar goes along the back, and there's a bar drops down, and that's what connects to the thermostat. So yeah, let's flip it over and I'll sort those out first. What I need to do is figure out a way so I can lock these fins so that they don't actually. I wonder if I can take them out though. That's a thought. I wonder if I can just, and just remove them temporarily. I'd be happier with that, because the last thing I want to do is cook the engine. Yeah, because I know this does separate, doesn't it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see if I can actually remove these. Again, I do want to install them. I do want all of this functioning at some point, but at the moment I'm just wanting to get it together. Like I said, I've tried everywhere to get a thermostat and I haven't been able to get one. So just nobody's got them in stock. And I've still got this thing kicking about wherever it is, that. Which, I don't know what that is. I really don't know what that is. Yeah, it was in the box with, it was in the same box as all of these bits. But, yeah. Who knows? I sure don't. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything else to connect this up. So let's have a look and see what we can do with this. So that's it. We have those removed. I have made a couple of blanket plates just to blanket off there for the time being. They're not welded in. They're just it's a little bit of panel bond just to hold them there, and it'll just stop any air escaping there. I don't think it would matter too much, but you know, you never know. So it's done. Anyway. Yeah, don't know if you can see, but it's starting to get really cloudy all of a sudden. I've pushed everything inside because there has been a few drips of rain. But yeah, I'm going to flip it over. I've scuffed the paint up on the other side. I'm going to repaint it, and then we'll get the engine back out if it's not raining, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So we're getting close, but I know one of these holes, that's where the throttle cable comes from, but there's several others around the place. I'm not entirely sure what they are for. I think that one there might mount the coil, because if I recall, I saw the coil up on this thing somewhere on a couple of photos. But yeah, these ones, I'm not sure what they are. So for the time being, I'm going to stick some grommets in them, and then that way, if they do need to come out, it's easy enough to pull them out. Well, things are still moving along there. Everything is now all bolted up. Just about to put the pulley on in the drive belt. I'll do the carb next after that. Then we'll get the ignition timing set, static timing. And we are just about ready for a test firing. I still need to put the oil in the transmission, but I'll do that before I do the test firing. But yeah, and she's coming together nicely there. Zoom out a bit. There we go. I can't wait to see this engine in the van with these pipes. I'm old school. I love quad pipes out the back of a vehicle. It's just who I am. Always have done, always will. And this is no exception. So, but yeah, hardest part is going to be getting this in. It's, yeah, I need to get the back of the van up quite high. And I'm still debating about lifting it in all as one unit. It would make life easier in some respects. I just wish I had a couple of much higher lifting jacks. That would solve the issue. That would definitely solve the problem. Just being able to lift it all up in one go rather than lifting it, blocking it up, lifting it, blocking it up. I have seen a few people doing these by actually, what they do is they get the engine box on a long plank of wood, raise the plank up, block it on one end, lift the other end, block it. But, you know, so you've got this constant like cantilever going. Archimedes would be proud. But yeah, I don't have any long planks of wood and I don't have any means of getting any here, so we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Let's just make sure this all runs and everything first before we get ahead of ourselves. So I've now got this figured out. The thing I am missing though is the it's basically like a little cone, and that helps tension the pulley. I'm gonna have another dig around. I'm not sure where else to look, but I'm gonna have another dig around through the boxes, because just in case, like the actual pulley itself, just in case I've missed it somewhere and it is actually buried in there. Okay, we're on number one, top dead center on the compression stroke. So let's stab the distributor in, and yeah, we'll get the HC leads on. I'll get the plug back in over there, throw the carb on, and yeah, almost there. Okay, we don't have a carb on yet, but we've got all the ignition hooked up. So let's crank it over and let's see if we have a spark. We do not have a spark. Okay, so let me just go around and check. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to grab an ignition coil. There's oil coming out of it. I mean, these are old coils. I was hoping one of them worked just for testing purposes, because I want to go to the swap meet at the end of the month. And because there's a couple of guys there, they do a lot of different coils, so I've got a lot of choice. Anyway, it is actually getting dark, even though it doesn't show it on the caravan. I think I've been out here too long. But I'm happy with the progress. I am really happy with the progress. I mean, when we started off this morning, basically it was just a engine block. And now we've built it up to the point where it's basically a complete engine. Now, I still got the carb to do on it. That's just sitting down there at the moment. Because what I was planning to do with the carb is I want to see how it runs first, and just take it from there. But obviously that ain't going to happen today. I might actually end up back out here tomorrow messing about with it, so who knows. Or I might be doing the brakes. Whichever one, you're going to see the video anyway, so that's it. I'm rabbiting because I'm tired and I've had enough. See you soon. Well, there's not a lot I can do, so I've just pushed the engine back into the garage for now, and yes, I have just thrown everything into the doorway for tonight. So I'm just going to go online, order a coil. Hopefully it'll be here quickly, and then we'll get back to this. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back to working on the brakes, and there's a few other bits and pieces I'm doing on the van. I want to take the drive shafts and everything out as well, so you'll see that in a different video though. Anyway, that's it for now. Next time you see me, hopefully I'll have a coil in my hand. Well, the engine's out, so you know what that means. That's right, got a new coil. So yeah, I'm going to cook the battery for about 20 minutes. Just get that bit of charge into there, and then yeah, we'll give this a shot, see what happens. So before I get into kicking that over, I'm just boiling the battery for a little while there, but meanwhile I'm going to have a quick look at this. Now, this is not a Solex, or Solex, however you pronounce it, I don't care. But it is basically a clone of the Solex. Now, I've talked to different people, and some say these things are terrible, some say they're okay. But one thing definitely advised to do is pop that jet out there and make sure it's clear of it and just not idle correctly. And the other one is, where are we at? That one there, that's the air adjustment screw. Sorry, I think the small one is the air adjustment screw. The large one is the idle, or vice versa. Either way, that big one needs to come out, and just check the actual rubber seal on it, the O-ring, just to make sure that it's intact. And if not, pop a new one on. But I will be counting the number of turns out so it goes back in exactly the same position. But yeah, I've spoken to a few different people. Some say basically just take this thing and throw it on the nearest scrap pile. Others say they're a bit more finicky to tune, but once you get them tuned, they're actually okay. I would like to replace this, but right now that's not in the budget. The main goal is to actually get the van up and running and drivable. Then I'll look at replacing bits like that. But yeah, let's just pop that out, have a look at it, and then we'll take it from there. So, I don't know if you can see that, but I have actually sharpied a line down the screwdriver there, so it's easier to count the number of turns. But I'm going to pop him out now and just check the O-ring on him, just make sure he's okay. So 15 turns. I mean, it's there, I mean, it's intact, but it's very flattened off, so I'll stick a new one on, and come on, focus. I'll stick a new one on, and then at least we know he is dealt with. So that's back in there now. What I'm going to do now is just I might as well actually just put the carb on, and we will put some power to this just to make sure that, actually what I'll do is I'll put power to it first just to make sure this little solenoid is working. This operates the fuel cutoff. I'm assuming that it's got that in just because these engines run on, so they cut the fuel. But yeah, let's try that. I know there is another one kicking about there, so if this one doesn't work, then we can just switch them out. Hopefully it works. Okay, so that works okay. Right, let's get this all hooked up and then we'll kick it over and see what happens. Okay, so I've been playing around with this for a while. I'm still not getting a spark from the new distributor, but I am from the old one. So, get some gas down the carb and let's see what happens. We've lost spark again. We had it and we've lost it again. So, the engine has attempted to fire a couple of times. I have had some splutters out of it, but it was just not getting enough of a spark. And like I say, now we've gotten on. So we'll clean the points again, and yeah. I don't know about this electronic distributor. I think it's faulty. I've tried it a few times. We're getting nothing. Plus now the battery's getting a bit weak. So what I might do is I'm going to clean the points, give it one more shot, and then after that I'm probably going to just stick the battery on charge for an hour. Just because, like I said, this is not a good battery. I really need to get one. That's part of the issue. I really need to get a good battery. But yeah, let's just have a bit more play about with it and see what we get. Okay, I tell you what is happening. I'm spinning the engine over and it's popping the distributor up. And then the rotor arm disengages. Huh. Odd. I have never seen that behaviour before. So, yeah, let's get it clamped down again. And because what it means is I wanted the distributor a little bit loose so that I can turn it to adjust the ignition while I'm spinning it over. But it's not allowing me to do that. Yeah. Okay, I've got it this time. I think what was happening was the keyway is slightly offset, and I think I had it 180 degrees out, and it was catching, but it was pushing the distributor just a little bit. So it's in there now. So I'm going to put some gas down the carb again because I've been spinning it over for a bit and see what happens. So what I can determine there is it's this edge that you time it on. So this is 0 and it should line up with this edge. And then that should put the distributor at number 1. Oh yeah. This is 2-stroke oil, by the way. And it does give a little bit extra lubrication on first start up. Did this with the Jeep as well. Right, we know it's starting. I am going to try the electronic distributor again because I just want to make sure that distributor is not working before I actually send it back. But yeah, I am happy with this. I'm very happy with this. Let's give it one more shot. I'd like to know it's pumping gas out of the can, but I don't think it is. I think that pump is just not in the best of shape, so we'll give it another shot anyway. Yeah, I think we need to have a look at the fuel pump, but she started. She started. Hell yeah. Okay, so I've gotten her firing up a bit there, but the pump is pumping absolutely nothing there whatsoever. I've had it disconnected and I've been kicking it over a bit more, and it's done. So I'm going to go in and order a new one. I always thought I would have to, but you know, it's I'm I'm not trying to cheap out on it or anything, but that one, it seemed to have some suction. It's just not enough. So yeah. I mean, it fired. I mean, it definitely fired there, and it is actually idling a little. Well, kind of idling a little bit. I need to make sure all of the fuel system and everything's working correctly before I start looking at replacing carbs or even trying to tune the carb. So, my next basic step is I am going to put that electronic ignition distributor back on and just see if I can get the same reaction with that in place. It's the only thing I can think of to try. If it doesn't, then what I'll do is when I go to order the pump, I'll actually drop them a line and say, sorry, but this distributor is not working. So, but I'm happy. That is a definite win. We've seen exhaust and gas and noise and movement and ah, God, yeah, definite win today. So, distributor is in. Now, with the other distributor, it actually puts the rotor there for number one. So, but here it puts it there. I've also figured out that I think what I was doing was I had the key 180 degrees out. That's why it was popping out earlier. Alright, let's try this distributor. We've got nothing out of it. Absolutely nothing. Nope, it's dead. Well, mixed feelings about this. I am happy that it started. Annoyed at the distributor. Neither here nor there about the fuel pump because I figured I might have to get one anyway, and I was probably going to get one just to be on the safe side. So overall, yeah, no, it's a good result. I have had the engine has fired. That is definite thumbs up. Obviously, it didn't have it idling much because, well, first of all, it's not drawing fuel through the carb, and secondly, that carb is just, I don't know anything about it. It really needs to be gone through. But it fired. That was my goal. That's what I wanted to hear. It fired. It did idle a little bit. There was no knocks. There was no bangs. There was no weird noises. It did exactly what it was meant to do. So, yeah. I think this is a very, very good place to bring this video to a close. I'm just going to move this all inside, and then I'm just going to move back on and just continue with the brakes and everything. But I am happy. I'm really happy. I am. It's been a long road to get to this point. And oh, by the way, I did find that it pops up in one of the other videos when I'm sorting it. When I was actually editing the video, I spotted it. But anyway, that's it for now. Yeah, there you go. There you have it. It started. It ran for a few seconds. So, as always, thanks for following along on this journey. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and come back and see me sometime. The adventure continues.